Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, along with Dustin Fox and an empty chair. I'm Adam the Bull. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the show. We've got Mike, Steve, and Anthony all behind the glass. G. Bush will be here eventually. We are, I got to say, we are a bit of a mess lately.
We have been, Bull.
I got to say, I don't know if maybe that's part of our charm, that we're unconventional. We got guys that come late. We got guys that
fly by the seat of our pants.
We fly by the seat of our pants. We got guys we were told we couldn't wear shorts. Then guys are wearing shorts.
We're gonna tighten things up soon here.
We got what else do we got?
Right
we got guys on their phones. Everybody's on their phone all the time. It's crazy. I don't know what's happening here.
It's a nonchalant show in a man cave vibe.
Yeah, I guess that's what we want.
We are gonna tighten up a little bit though.
Are we?
The lateness is something we got to work on. I understand there's traffic at times and individuals are coming from much further than other places, but we start the show at 11. There's no reason we shouldn't all be here at 11. So.
All right.
Stern Mike today.
Well, it's G today, but it's not always G. We've had other people. Tyvis has been late. Jay's been late. Bull, you were almost late one day.
I was almost late.
Mike, it happens.
Yeah, you know who's never been late once?
Me.
This
Dustin
guy.
Fox.
This guy.
Now, Dustin has to leave early some days.
Yeah.
That's a different deal. You guys know that. At least you know that going in.
In the middle of the show.
I've had to pee 6 times in 2 years.
2 years?
2.5.
In 2 years?
Whatever. Almost. Going on 2. We're into the second year.
I vomited once on the show.
That's true.
You know.
That's a one-of-a-kind situation.
That's really something you want to one-up somebody with.
That's right. I'm the only one that's done that.
It may be the best moment in the history of the show.
Yeah,
it's definitely the most memorable moment in the
true.
history of the show.
Yeah.
Dustin, you weren't here for it. Real quick before we dive in. It was literally the Monday after the very first Browns game we ever covered as a show. Baker in Carolina, the game-winning field goal by Cade York. Both texted me that morning like, Mike, I can't make it in. My stomach feels absolutely terrible. Then he texted me 30 minutes later saying, I will not let Jay take a victory lap on this. I got to be here for the show. At about 12:01, he made it through the first hour. Jay asked Bull a question about the Bengals. And Bull answered and was like, it just stopped.
Yeah.
You could see him reach for the trash can next to him.
Yeah.
He grabbed the trash can and puked. Jay did not think it was real. Jay tried to toss the break, Dustin. As you know, we don't take breaks on this show.
Not really.
So it was to see Jay that flustered for someone as professional and buttoned up as Jay is in a broadcast setting. It was quite the moment.
Yeah, I had no business working that day. I think I was in the middle of a vertigo bout, which I get every once in a while. But I don't think I've had vertigo since then. This is like the longest I've gone without it since I started getting it 5-6 years ago, whatever it was that I started getting those. But anyway. There it is. G. Bush, how are you? You all right?
Garrett, you here?
Earpiece? Yeah, I'm good. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. It's wild outside, bro. I guess there is a playoff game going on downtown, right?
People were. I got into town early today because, Mike, someone who's never been late on the show prepares for what is ahead in the day in terms of, it's Guardians game. Traffic might be a problem. So would give myself an extra 15 minutes leave. Anyway, man, people were coming down here at 10 o'clock.
Well, listen, when you only on once or twice a week, there's a good chance that you ain't gonna be late,
listen,
right? 7 and 5, it's a more bigger sample size, right?
Bottom of the totem pole. I'm just trying to get a nut, man.
Hey, the 5th round picks, 6th round picks can't be late.
Yeah.
They got a minute's limit on me, man.
So we'll get to the Guardians. Obviously, we were planning on starting with the Guardians and their disappointing loss, but obviously there's breaking news this morning with the Browns, and so we'll begin there. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we'll get to the change at quarterback after a quick word from Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool bringing you your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes and see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use promo code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for half off your first year. That is 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com if you use promo code LOCKEDONNFL. Guys, right. The Browns have officially announced something that we discussed yesterday, a change at the quarterback position. Out is Joe Flacco. In is Dillon Gabriel. Kevin Stefanski said it was a decision he made on his own. The team has to play better. The offense has to play better. It's not all on the quarterback. But, guys, we discussed this potential change yesterday. It became officially official this morning. Bull, G, Dustin, did Kevin Stefanski have any chance, or was this his only move to try and salvage the season?
Well, look, he's got moves. This is the only move that he could make now to try to salvage the season. As you're sitting here, 1-3 on the season, it's not looking like it's going to go anywhere up with Joe Flacco at quarterback. I just thought that it was going to be a tough week to actually make the change because of the logistics of going to London. They felt like it must be desperate times. They call for desperate measures, and that's what they're doing here, making the move to Dillon Gabriel. I don't think this was planned. I don't think if they could have their pick of this, they would do this before the Miami game or after the bye week, but they don't have time, guys. If there is any hope of trying to do anything, and at this point, they may be just trying to salvage their jobs, like as coaches, because we all thought like they're safe no matter what. Well, you're safe until you're 1-16. Yeah, and then things get really interesting. I mean, everyone thought Mike Gundy was safe at Oklahoma State. Yeah, you lose by 60, it happens, dude. So
he's a man. He's now 60.
He's now 60. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy, and this is where we're at now with this team. What do we have to lose, guys?
Nothing.
What do we have to lose?
Nothing. Go ahead, G.
Nothing at all. This is, I told y'all, I said, look, it's easy to sit up here and tell people, hey, you know what? We're going to wait to make these changes. We're going to come out and do this after Pittsburgh. We might actually have to make changes like at week 9 or 10. But the reality of the situation is when you get to the season, all the narrative stuff go away. You start to deal with real wins and losses. You start to deal with real, guess what? You dealing with real consequences in real situations because you're losing football games. When you're taking L's and losing football games, all of the stuff, the pie in the sky stuff ends. So you get to a point where now, to me, now that we are now actually playing and getting to evaluate the season, I said this on the Ultimate Browns yesterday, the season actually starts today. Because now the actual evaluation of what we're doing actually starts. There's no more, we're playing with house money, or no, we get to see this is the guy you chose. This is the guy you said that you had trust in. You took him in the 3rd round. Let's see how you coach it up. Let's see how he looks. So now all of that is off the table, and we'll get to this too. Like guys that are the little pressed, don't be alarmed. You know, I'm already seeing stuff in the news. Hey, well, why is Shedeur still the 3rd string backup behind Joe Flacco? Don't get distracted in the small details. Everyone knows that Shedeur Sanders will continue to play if Dillon Gabriel something happens to a point. This is a trip to London. They're going to look like we want to still evaluate Shedeur Sanders to see if he's still going to put that level of work in or whatever he's going to do. And if Dillon Gabriel falters, the next guy up is Shedeur Sanders. But they still want Joe Flacco to help Dillon Gabriel get ready, be prepared, and to be locked in at a point where they don't want him just being like, okay, I'm the 3rd string quarterback, let me check out. Not to say Joe would do that.
Right.
But this is now we get an opportunity to really get to the season because all Cleveland Browns fans should be locked in now because now we get to see if we got something here, boo.
Yeah, there's no playing with house money. The Guardians are playing with house money.
Yeah.
They surprisingly made the playoffs. So we're not going to – we'll be upset if they lose, but you can't kill them if they lose. I mean, you can kill the front office, go back, but you're not going to kill the players if they lose. The Browns that I'm playing with house money stink. When you stink, you got no money to play with. So Dillon Gabriel's got, going to go in there. I don't expect him to succeed right away, but I'm not giving the team a pass that it's okay if he just sucks for weeks and weeks and weeks. We got to see some improvement. I'm not expecting a great game one, but what I am expecting from Dillon Gabriel is that he gets better every game. And if that doesn't happen, that's on him, but it's also on the coaching staff.
Well, the other thing here, too, guys, is that it can provide some sort of a spark to this offense that they're so used to this being stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
At least if Gabriel comes in there, he's going to bring in some youth and enthusiasm to the huddle.
Yeah.
And the guys who are a lot of veterans on the offensive line are going to see a new face, a new voice, a guy who's genuinely excited. Like, imagine Dillon Gabriel this weekend. Who's going to be more excited to play in this game than him? Joe Flacco is probably like, God, I just hope I don't tweak an ankle this week. You know what I mean? Like, he's just an old fart.
Yeah.
And this guy's a kid who wants to go out there and give it all he has, and he will. And so that gives the Browns a chance. And it gives a little bit of hope. Now let's hope that it doesn't just dissipate and completely go to the wayside. But if he goes out there and plays a halfway decent game, it's going to give the team a little bit of a morale boost, because right now, and Garrett, we talked about this yesterday, in terms of being in locker rooms where teams are not having success and guys start to tank, and a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit late for treatment, a little bit later for this and that, like that, all those things tend to wear on a team, and then that's where you have a 1-16 type of football team. The Browns are trying to nip that in the butt right now. Like, they need to really cut this thing off and start to try and build something. Otherwise, this is going to be a complete rebuild.
Yeah, because now I think what you're starting to see in real time is you're starting to see the pressure mounting not only on the players, because you know this, Dustin, when you're a young player, you always readily feel like, all right, well, I still got an opportunity. I'm still young in the league. I'm going to play forever, right? Old guys are like, well, listen, I'm almost done. It's easy for old dudes to check out. It's easy for them to be like, yeah, I wasn't coming back next year. Or, hey, it's my last contract. I'm playing for the next team. I'm auditioning. So now you're doing your own thing. You're not really locked in and bought in. Now you're starting to see the coaching staff say to themselves, guys, they're looking at us now. They're looking at us. They're evaluating what we are doing now. We can't afford to come out here and play the status quo game. We got to get to what we need to get to. And the exciting part about this is now the evaluation is now complete. The evaluation is now started for everybody. The evaluation has begun for the rest of the rookies. And what they are doing, Judkins and Fannin and the rest of them, we want to see how they progress and get better throughout the season. We're going to take a look at that. And now we get a chance to see a lot of the stuff that people will say doesn't matter or doesn't. People didn't want to make the change. They said it doesn't matter at quarterback. Oh, it doesn't matter. We don't. Well, no, you got to see it. So now you get a chance to see Dillon Gabriel. He's going out there. I like. As I thought about it, I liked it better to move him and play him out here, because sometimes as a player, you get away from when you starting on the road. You forced to lock in a little more. Like, you don't got ticket requests. You don't got people hitting you up. It ain't, you get away from the news cycle. You are way across in London. Now you over there hanging out, and you're like, all right, cool, let's lock in. I ain't got really no distractions, and it's a neutral site game. It's not really on the road. You ain't got the nerves. It's like, all right, let's go out here for this business trip. I think it's a good opportunity for him to get what he needs to do back in London in the neutral site game.
Yeah, and I think you guys referenced this a little bit. Sometimes it's just like maybe the offensive line gets a little extra juice and they block better. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of the guys on defense that were starting to be like, what's the point? Yeah, maybe they get a little extra juice, Maybe the wide receivers are a little more focused on catching passes this week. They've had the drops. It's been a problem. They've been called out for it. Like, maybe Fannin's a little more locked in. Maybe Judy's a little more locked in on make sure I catch that ball before I try to make a move or whatever. And hopefully everybody will be able to do that, including Kevin Stefanski, who's frankly called some pretty, ugly games. He deserves a lot of the blame for what's happened so far. And he's got to do a better job. Across the board, nobody's doing well enough. Outside of Judkins, really, nobody's doing their part on the offense. Nobody, except for him, Judkins. That's it. So everybody else has got to be better. Coaches, players, across the board, and maybe the spark of this young guy getting an opportunity will, boost up some of the other guys too. I hope so, because they need something.
Yeah, you always get a little bit of a boost, right? You get that little kick start. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's something fresh, it's something new. And when you get young guys, they bring that youthful energy, right? They get that bounce to them. You get a chance that, they got that energy. It's infectious. And plus, it's always good to have that feeling of, okay, we got a brand new start here. We got a fresh start here. Like, if you look at it, you take a look at what the Browns are able to do. Say, for instance, they are able to get a win. Now they're 2 and 3? Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, well, listen, this season football players are irrational. You tell yourself whatever you need to do to get from week to week, right? They'll come in and say, hey, look, guys, we got everything in front of you. You had them conversations, Dustin. Hey, guys.
Everything's in front of us.
Everything's in front of us. Yeah. Hey, the division is it's funny. They will get rid of all them other games. The division or the conference is right in front of us. That's our number one goal on the board since July.
Or you could take anybody who played football through college or whatever and put them in front of a team and be like, you're the head coach. And we could pull together a speech immediately.
Immediately. Guys,
the cliches.
All of the cliches. Listen, if you would have told us in the beginning of the season.
I mean, nobody believed in us.
Nobody believed it. And here we are, 2 and 3, right in the mix of the division.
It's all right in front of us.
It's just right in front of us, guys. So listen, veterans, guys, I need you guys to really put your arms around these young guys. Young guys, follow those leaders out there, man. Miles, come on. Like they'll tell themselves that they about to get their lives together, and that's why too. They knew they wanted to make the move. They always had the plan, and so when you say, okay, Joe's now the backup, it's like, yeah, they want Joe to stay locked in. I can imagine that conversation they had on Joe. This is a tough decision. But we really we've still got confidence in you as a leader, and I still want you to lead these young guys. But you're one play away.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here exactly what's here, or just see.
Mary Kay transcribed some of his
let's
quotes.
see the quotes from
real
Stefanski.
quick. But this was Kevin Stefanski, who just did a press conference at 10:30, explaining his rationale behind making
They're in
this
England
decision.
already, right?
No, they fly out this afternoon.
Yeah.
They fly this afternoon.
They practice in Berea today, then fly out. These are 3 transcribed quotes. Mary Kay Cabot transcribed them from Kevin Stefanski on the quarterback change. The first, Stefanski said, quote, "Just my decision. This was the best decision for the football team." He went on to say, "This is not about one person. Joe is a captain of this football team, and we still need his leadership going forward. Excited for Dillon. He's handled everything really well since he's been on campus here. We all need to be better. I know the quarterback position gets quite a bit of scrutiny, but this is about our entire team being better."
No, it's
End
not.
quote.
I mean, it is, but you're not making this change. How would one change at quarterback be about our entire team getting better? Then he should change every starter if it's about every getting better. I hate Coach Beak. I hate Kevin Stefanski talking. I don't hate Kevin Stefanski. I just hate every time he talks. He says nothing. It's very frustrating.
The fact that he said,
people don't care.
The fact that he said, Dustin,
campus
on campus.
Well, it is called the Rock and whatever it's called, the campus.
They are
Cross Country Mortgage Campus.
They are. So when I used to work at corporate America,
but I know what you're saying.
We would go to these retreats, and they would have like these classes. They would teach people. They'd be like, "This is high level communication." This is how, they'll hand out these pamphlets and leaflets of how you got to talk to people, because that's how that's the respect level and how you get people to buy in. So if it's Rocket Mortgage Campus, they want to sell to the whole organization that we're all saying campus. And you're like, come on, bro, you mean?
Well, they all learned, I mean, I don't know if I just said Barry, Stefanski, Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff all went to the same school of learning how to talk.
Yes.
They all speak advanced nerd.
Yes.
And
where'd they learn that at?
High level.
Is that like a Penn thing? Is that an Ivy League thing?
I think it's an Ivy League thing. Dartmouth, I believe. In
Dartmouth,
They went to a special.
We can ask Ross Tucker later. He's an Ivy League guy.
That's true.
Yeah,
he's an Ivy League guy. And supposedly Dillon Gabriel speaks advanced nerd too. Like he talks their language.
Yes.
So that might help. And listen, here's the crazy thing. I know none of us think this is going to happen, but it's not impossible that Dillon Gabriel ends up being a good quarterback in the NFL. I mean, it may seem impossible to us. I think none of us think that's going to happen, but it's possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily week 1, but what if Dillon Gabriel ends up being a good quarterback?
That's it.
Wouldn't that be great?
Awesome.
You bring up a very good point, and this is what I like to say about when you play football, and there's a level of integrity that you have to have when it comes to talking about football. You may not think somebody has a long-term upside or be the best person at that position. But every single person who's ever played football understands this. You can't, that's not our job to sit here and say what's in my mind and what I think. Every single person gets the opportunity to show and prove what they can do. And if they do show and prove, you have no choice but to say that. Like, there ain't none of that, like, oh, listen, I think, to me, let's be clear, I think Shedeur Sanders has way better, more upside than Dillon Gabriel, right? But just because I believe that, I'm not going to sit up here and act and hate like, oh, if Dillon Gabriel throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'm not going to be combing through the film trying to find 4 things that I don't like. Nah, I'm going to have to say that. Like, at the end of the day, it's about your merits on the football field. So it's important to say, listen, give him the opportunity to prove that, because as a man, that's all you want in life. You don't got to like somebody. You ain't got to even at first be really like all up under them and rubbing their shoulders and stuff. Nah, you ain't got to be doing that. You got to just can't say it's real, bro. I love you, dog. Look, I'm just loving you, bro. Come on, man. I love you.
Can I get a back rub?
Yeah, here you go, dog. Let me get your shoulders together. Let me get your shoulders to rub
You got
them.
some big old hands, man.
Yeah. Listen, see, this is why
Your wife must love that.
This is why we get letters. See how this thing could have went left? I was going to say something to Bull, but no. We're good. We don't want letters.
No letters.
So, no, we don't want any emails. But, no, but I'm excited to see it because for him, he gets a chance to prove a lot of people wrong.
And as a fan, this is, right now you're miserable. The season, you thought the team would be bad probably. The team is bad. And there's no hope when Joe Flacco's the quarterback. And as a fan, the unknown is exciting because the unknown could be good. Even if it's more likely to be bad, it could be good. We know Joe Flacco is done. We know it. There's nothing. Right, there's no upside with him.
Here's an example, okay? You're from New York. The New York Giants right now decided that they were going to go with the kid.
Right.
Yep.
And they started Dart this week.
Yeah.
And did you see
much higher pick.
Sure.
But yeah.
But I mean, both had awesome college careers. Like I think going into the draft, there weren't many people who'd be like, oh, Jackson Dart, Dillon Gabriel, like who's getting higher? In fact, people probably thought Shedeur was going higher than all of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so on Sunday, they played, I think, one of the best teams in the AFC, the Chargers.
Right.
They won the game.
Right.
You know what the kid did?
Just enough.
13 for 20 for 111 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Had some good, runs on the ground. Scored a touchdown, 54 yards. Like, didn't do a lot, but I guarantee you, the people in New York City right now, Big Blue fans, they're fired up,
excited because this is the
and they're 1-3, by the way.
Yeah, right.
This is when it starts.
Yeah.
This is when it starts. Our season just started this week because everybody, if you asked before the season, it was the supercomputer versus legendary. We want to see if we got a franchise quarterback. And now the competition that they all talked about, that they all prophesied, is finally here. We finally get to see in real game, in real time, is here. We are here. Who is going to pull Excalibur out of the stone? Who? Right? They're bringing knights from all around. Knights from all around to see who's the real true king. Who is going to get Excalibur?
40 people have tried to pull on that sword, and none of them have pulled it out yet.
None of them. Still in the rock.
Now, to be fair, I'm guessing
that was crazy, too. That was wild.
I'm guessing there are a much higher percentage of Giant fans that think Jackson Dart's going to be a good quarterback than Browns fans that think Dillon Gabriel is going to be a good quarterback. But you never know.
I'm just making the point that there's a little juice there.
There's a little juice.
They're 1-3.
100%.
We're 1-3.
McNuggets, I know. Listen, you're everybody right here, right now. Just we do the post game show all the time.
Yeah.
How much of a little extra excitement it is there that we get to break down a Dillon Gabriel game versus Joe Flacco for the post game?
There's not a little bit. It's to the 38th degree.
Well, not if he sucks. I mean, if he's terrible.
But still,
at least going into, and I can just say from a post-game show, immediate breakdown, I knew what we were getting from Joe Flacco every week. We knew. We knew what this offense looked like. Now I'm excited to see okay, what kind of changes is Kevin Stefanski going to move the pocket around? This offensive line stinks. Are we going to see any new wrinkles that they were saving for Dillon Gabriel? A lefty quarterback always looks odd on TV. Look at Tua throw the ball. Are the Browns ready? Zach Jackson tweeted this morning, it's the Browns' 41st quarterback since 99, the first lefty to start a game. So we have to adjust our brains to seeing the right tackle as the blindside protector. So yes, from that pure perspective, G, I can't wait to see what Dillon does. And it's at 9:30. Wake up, get a lefty quarterback thrown in your face. It's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible. Then you got the rest of the day to watch football. It could not be a more perfect situation for someone who was supposed to show.
I mean, it'd be more perfect if there was actually a quarterback that you thought was going to be good.
I'm just saying from like a content immediately after perspective, it is great. And G, you brought up something in your last point that leads us right into our second topic. So let me tell you guys why Mazda is a proud sponsor of UCSS, then we'll dive into that. But Mazda is always moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game. It's about redefining it because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, and just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. G, Kevin Stefanski in that same press conference this morning also announced that Joe Flacco will remain as quarterback 2. Shedeur Sanders will be quarterback 3 in the emergency quarterback against Minnesota. G, we saw what the Giants did. They made Russell Wilson the backup. Jameis Winston was the third string. That didn't change when they made the QB1 swap to Jackson Dart. Do you agree with Kevin Stefanski and the Browns' decision? And G, we'll start with you on this one, of leaving Shedeur as quarterback 3 and making Joe quarterback 2 behind Dillon Gabriel.
Y'all might be actually surprised at the way I think about it, but to me, this was going to be an obvious move. I kind of alluded to it earlier. First and foremost, if you go back and look at his comments, what he told Joe Flacco, he said what? He's still a team captain. He's still a leader on the team, right? And so one of the things that he's doing is he's trying to keep the chain of command where it's at. He doesn't want to demote Joe Flacco all the way to the emergency backup quarterback at this point when he still needs Joe Flacco to be involved in the game plan. The backup quarterback is always involved in the game plan. The emergency quarterback is not. So what he wants to do is, A, give himself the best opportunity to have, if anything goes wrong, he can at least put him in there so that Shedeur Sanders can, at least have an opportunity, because I think that the game plan that they put in for Shedeur Sanders will be completely different from the game plan that they use for Dillon Gabriel. The same way Dillon Gabriel's playbook and plan is different from Joe Flacco's. So
do you think we're going to see a noticeable difference in the offense
with Shedeur?
No, with Dillon Gabriel.
Yes.
Okay, I hope you're right.
I think there's a lot of different things that they'll do that will be tailored to Dillon Gabriel. And I think Tommy Rees, his task for me should have been, hey, you guys are going to need I need you to be digging up some of this Oregon stuff. I need you to figure out some college stuff. I want you to bring some best of both worlds and do that. But in terms of the Shedeur thing, I wouldn't even trip about it, because this is on messaging from what they do. They want to make sure, you can say this is rightfully or wrongfully. I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, they have this thing in their mind that they got to always monitor Shedeur Sanders. They have to monitor his progress. They got to make sure he's coming along the right way. They want to make sure that he's not giving anything too fast, that he earns it. So guess what? By the time he gets in a football game, they'll say, well, listen, just like Dillon's done everything we asked him to. Just like Shedeur's done everything we asked him to in the event that they go to him. So I think this is a way for them to keep him working towards something and keeping his eye on the prize. But does that believe that if Dillon plays poorly after a number of games that they'll go back to Flacco? No, they'll put Shedeur in and say he earned it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things here. Number one, Shedeur, they see something in him. They see some sort of potential that they think, okay, if we can sort of bring him along step by step and teach him how to become a pro, how to become a backup, then how to become a starter, how to prepare, how to see things on the field, how to see things pre-snap, post-snap, all these things. Like, it's just going to take a little more time. And because he was a fifth-round pick, they bought themselves a lot of time. They don't have to play him right now. Mm-hmm. And by the way, putting a quarterback into the backup role, albeit for most fans just think it's just a number on a depth chart, there's so much more that goes into that role on a weekly basis in terms of like you're actually providing a ton to the team that's going to make an impact on Sundays. And I just don't think that he's ready for that right now. There's a reason why they're bringing him along slowly. Flacco will be the number 2. He has a checklist of things that he has to go through this week to get himself ready, to then get Dillon Gabriel ready, to understand the playbook, to be ready to go in there on a whim. Like that's sort of the mindset, and Flacco's cool with that. He understands the assignment. He knows why he's here. He's 40 years old. I don't have any problem with this at all, and I think that they continue to just bring Sanders along, and there will be time, guys. We're gonna see plenty of number 12 playing in the brown and orange at some point, probably late in the year, and probably a little bit next year, and then the offseason, like all that stuff. There's going to be time to find out if Shedor's ready. The last thing you want to do right now is throw Shedor Sanders in the football game when he's not ready to go. He's going to get swallowed up. His confidence will get fractured, and then all of a sudden we don't even have a chance to see if the kid can become something.
It doesn't really matter what we say or what fans think. It's irrelevant. The Browns don't believe he's ready to play in the NFL. And we can argue all we want, but the Browns are telling you they don't believe Shedor Sanders is ready to play an NFL game. That doesn't mean they don't think he won't be at some point this year, as you say, but they don't think right now he's ready to play in the NFL. And it's irrelevant if we or fans agree or disagree with them. It doesn't matter. That's what they think. They control what's going on. So we can come up with conspiracy theories or whatever we want. It's a fashionable thing to do in America these days. Or we can just live in the reality of what's most likely the case. And what's most likely the case is not that there's some conspiracy theory. It's that the Browns believe that he's not ready to play right now. So they're not going to make him the backup quarterback. I think there is something to be said with what you said, G, also, that you want to keep Joe Flacco engaged in the mix and being a leader. And what you said, Dustin, about, like, there's responsibility. You said it, too. There's responsibilities for the backup quarterback. But ultimately, the Browns don't believe Shedor's ready to play an NFL game. And that doesn't – and, like, people are going to take that as an insult. It's not necessarily an insult. Some guys take longer than others. And the Browns could be wrong, but it doesn't matter if they're wrong because they're making the decision.
This is the way I look at it, this is just the best opportunity in the world. Here's the reason. Because by the time, when they do get to him, there will be he's going to get he's going to get the bulk of what he needs to do. And what I mean by that is you'd already seen Flacco. If they move on from Dillon Gabriel, that means we didn't seen enough of Dillon Gabriel and he hasn't played. Or he got hurt,
yeah.
Right? So by the time they get to him, it's going to be no questions. If he plays well, there's no questions about it. It's going to be sealed. You're like, listen, I did what you asked me to do. I started off the season. For all the people who have the detractors who have something about his attitude or he couldn't do this or what he's doing, they can say he started off the third string quarterback. He started from the bottom. Shout out to Drake. Now we here. Now, plus, there's a lot of things that I always believe in learning from other people's mistakes rather than your own. Sometimes you're going to have to make your own mistakes, but some mistakes you can just look at somebody else and say, you know what, let me not go to jail forever by doing that, right? Or let me learn by what somebody else did. Mm-hmm. So when you over there, I know you can't get a thought process and you can't just come out and say, I'm going to play well because I watched somebody. But what you can do is you can learn and be like, ooh, I like that. I like how he come out here and how Joe took some notes on, or how he goes about breaking down certain coverages and how there's certain little tricks of the trade that you could take and add it to your game. If you got the talent level and you know you're going to get that opportunity, then boy, when you get in there, it ain't about when you and how quickly you get there. It's about what you do when you get there. Are you going to capitalize?
Yeah.
And that's the hope that they have with Shedor Sanders. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Dillon Gabriel. I'm excited to see both of it. All of it.
Well, we'll get back to the Browns in about 25 minutes or so when Ross Tucker joins us. But the Guardians played game one of their wild card series, and unfortunately it ended with a loss. We'll get to that after Mike gives us a read.
Yeah, our Guardians recap is brought to us today by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Guys, The football season is here. Major League Baseball playoffs are upon us, and the NBA season is ready to tip off any minute. And right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Bull, we're going to preview Game 2 in a little bit. Before we do that, let's recap what happened yesterday. A 2-1 loss for the Guards.
Yeah.
Gavin Williams pitched awesome. They got a run off Scooble, and they had a runner on third with no outs in the ninth. But unfortunately, they were unable to push that tying run across the plate.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, Bull. Take it any direction you want.
So a couple of things in this game. Obviously, the Guardians or the Tigers, both of their runs were unearned. Just two terrible defensive plays. In the first inning, no excuse for that error by Jonathan Rodriguez. He was lackadaisical out in right field. You got 2 outs, nobody on. Gavin Williams gets the first 2 batters, I think, on 3 pitches or whatever it was. You get a base hit to right field, okay, but Rodriguez a little lackadaisical, ends up bobbling the ball. He gets the second, and then when Torkelson gets a hit, was it Torkelson? Yeah, Torkelson got the hit. Next, the run scores now because Rodriguez screwed up in right field and let the runner get to second base. And so they get the next batter. Had he not made that error, the Guardians would not have, or the Tigers would not have scored in the first. So you're behind the 8 ball right off the bat. That was very frustrating. I was so pissed because obviously I'm driving home. I wasn't able to watch the first inning. I'm listening to Hammy on the radio. I was also going back and forth too because my buddy Mike Barron's calling the games for ESPN radio. So, but anyway, so you have that, and then when the Guardians tie the game up in the fourth, great base running by Angel Martinez on that play. That run was just like the runs they scored against Scooble the other day in that final regular season matchup with him, where they didn't leave the infield at all. In fact, the Guardians. Kyle Manzardo's bloop single to right field was their only hit to the outfield. In fact, they only hit 4 balls to the outfield the whole game. So the hitting was really poor. But they tie the game on the great base running by Martinez. They called him out at home. It was a bad call. They reversed the call. Okay. The next beef I have with what the Guardians did is in that fourth inning, the next batter is Brian Rocchio. It's first and third, 2 outs. It's a 1-1 game. And Brian Rocchio's bunting. I don't understand why he's bunting. Why? And Zach kind of gave him a little bit of a pass on our Guardian show yesterday because he's like, if he bunts it a little harder, maybe it's going to be a hit. But I can't have you trying to bunt for a hit with. If you don't have the confidence that you can get a hit to score a run in a 1-1 game in the fourth inning, then you shouldn't be in the lineup. I'm sorry. The odds of getting an RBI single on a bunt with 2 outs is very slim. I get it.
It's a waste.
I know Scooble's hard to hit. Scooble was on his A game yesterday. He was fantastic. But you can't bunt there. I thought that was terrible. Now, you go to the inning where the Tigers took the lead. And again, Jhonkensy Noel, just terrible at first base. First, it's a hard ground ball, so it goes off him. A good first baseman makes that play initially, and it's an easy out at first. Now, it followed a double. Then, even when it goes to Rocchio, he throws it back to him, and Noel's foot slides off the base. I can't have that. And people are going to criticize Vogt for playing him at first, and I didn't like that he was in the lineup, period. The fact that Jhonkensy Noel shouldn't even be on the roster, let alone on the starting lineup. He's had a miserable season. He sucks in the field. He can't hit. His OPS is in the 400s. It's probably the worst. He's probably got the worst OPS in all of baseball. He can't hit. So having him in the starting lineup is absurd. But you're a major league player. You should be able to step on the base without your foot sliding off the base. Could you be any less? What are you, me? A 50-year-old fat guy? I mean, can you be less athletic on that play?
I used to play first base, and I was confused why it is that his foot was on top of the base.
Should never be on top of the base.
It should be on the corner.
Always.
First of all, I'm like, son, you're going to get your leg broke if you can't put your foot right on there.
Yes.
I mean, but he looked like he didn't know where he was at.
Yeah.
He moved back, did a split, and you bring up a great point here. At the plate, he's up there. He has no sort of a plate discipline.
None.
He's swinging at stuff. Like they could throw him anything. It could be a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. They could throw him anything, and he's swinging at it. There was one time he struck out. The ball bounced, almost had skipped to him.
I would never throw him a pitch over the plate.
Ever.
He's swinging at everything.
He swings at every single pitch.
He can't hit. Like, I know he had his moments last year. I get it. But that was last year. He's been miserable this whole season. Every time he's been in the big leagues, he hasn't done anything.
Wild work, bro.
And you're right about, like, you can't have your foot on top of the base. And he had plenty of time. Like, he had plenty of time to get set at first. I don't know what happened.
Brain farts.
I guess.
Remember I asked you yesterday, Bull. I asked you. I said, listen, I don't know, man. Scooble, we got some runs off of him the last time, and it was little dink and dunk, and, you know, I know he hit somebody, but he showed you he was locked all the way in. This dude was pitching at a Mount Rushmore level.
Oh, yeah, he was nasty.
I mean, he in the 7th inning, he's still hitting 101.
Yeah, and he doesn't usually throw it that hard. Like, he had extra gas.
I said, when did he get this?
Yeah.
That high fastball he was throwing, and he was
usually 99 with an occasional 100. He was 100 with an occasional 101. He was nasty, and he locked back after the Guardians scored that run. Like, he was locked. I was shocked they took him out in the 8th inning. That was really – I thought that was a stupid move. I know he'd thrown 100 and whatever pitches. I don't care. The Red Sox let their starter go almost 120 yesterday. This is the playoffs, man.
We had nothing. We had nothing for him.
No.
It was almost as if when you came out that first inning, right, and you looked up, and when they scored when the Tigers scored the first run, and I saw Scooble come back on the mound, and the way he was throwing – I said it's going to be one.
But you know what? Gavin Williams pitched great too.
He pitched
great, and they let him down. He was phenomenal. And, John Kenzie makes that error. So instead, it should have been a runner on third, 1 out. Instead, it's first and third, nobody out. Now, he strikes out Dingler, right? Which is such a funny name. Dillon Dingler. I mean, what a great name.
And he's pretty good, right?
Yeah, they tripped.
Well, he's like a solid catcher. He's not great, but he's certainly
not bad. He's a young player. He's a good player. A solid player. But it's a hilarious name. And
let's name our kid Dillon Dingler.
Yeah, I know. There's
the kids will never make fun of him.
Well, they're not making fun of him now.
No,
but I'm sure they did. But anyway, so now Dingler strikes out, and McKinstry then lays it on a great bunt to bring in the run.
Crazy bunt.
But if they had gotten the out of first, it would have been 2 outs with a runner on third. He's not bunting. They probably get out of that inning.
Tom Hamilton said it. I think Rodriguez made the
first error.
The first error.
Yeah.
And he says, if the Guardians want to win in the postseason, they cannot have those type of errors.
No.
And I was like, dang, that was kind of cryptic. Like for the first inning, like it's like,
yeah.
Dang,
well, he was right.
He knew what type of time we was on yesterday.
The defense, the terrible defense from two guys that can't hit, cost them the game. They lost 2-1. Now, let's go to the 9th. Jose leads off the 9th. Rips one up the middle. Mm-hmm. Baez makes a nice stop. Throws to first. Now
he probably should have caught that. I know as a first baseman,
you got to make that play.
You got to dig that.
You got to make that play. Now, great base running from Jose to get all the way to third on that play, right? They gave him a hit and an error. I think he would have been out at first, and Torkelson caught that ball, but all right.
He was out too, but it worked out.
Doesn't matter. So he goes to run. He's on third with nobody out. Now, you bring up George Valera to pinch hit. People on my postgame show were saying, why would you bring up Valera there? Why not bring up Schneemann? I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Valera was the right call. I mean, to me, it was you either pinch hit Valera or Kafis there. I'm not hitting. Schneemann hadn't hit the whole second half of the year. Valera has been playing well for you down the stretch. So has Kafis. So I was fine with either one of them.
Yeah.
They decided to go with Valera in that spot. I was okay with that. Yeah, he ended up. It looked like he was a little over anxious, and he swung at a couple of pitches out of the zone. He struck out because all you want to get is a fly ball.
That's it.
You get any depth on a fly ball, Jose's going to score. You know that. Unfortunately, he strikes out. Now it's 1 out, folks. Okay? Mike lost his mind in text yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you did too.
I didn't lose. I just asked a question.
I don't know. I'm going to say you lost your mind.
That's fair. Oh, it's not fair, but okay.
So Kyle Manzardo's up. He hits a chopper back to the mound, and Jose gets caught between third and home. And Mike's like, that's the first time I've seen Jose with bad base running. Okay. First of all, it's 1 out, runner on third. You have to go on contact if you're Jose Ramirez. That's it. You can't. You can't wait on a ground ball. If you wait and the pitcher bobbles the ball, well, now you can't go.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The old school train of thought was if the ball's hit to the right side of the field and you're on third base, you're automatically running, right?
Well, that's more like if you're on second base going to third.
Okay. So
but,
if Jose, he's looking at, but the question a lot of people was asking is, can he have a vantage point if the ball is hit right to Scooby? Right? If
you don't have that, see, it's easy for people to say that.
Yeah.
But Jose Ramirez is such an instinctual base runner. He's one of the best base runners in all baseball, maybe the best. All right? He knows that on a ground ball, he's got to get a good jump.
Yeah.
Because if one of the infielders gets it, they could go home and throw him out, right? You can't be thinking there, well, if it goes back to the mound, I got to wait to see if it gets past the pitch. You just don't have time to do that. You got to get a great jump. Now, if the only little criticism you could have for Jose is, I think that once he committed to going, I would not have stopped. He stopped. What he tried to do was get in a rundown so Manzardo could get to second base.
Right.
I think he probably would have just been better off going home and hoping that the pitcher made a bad throw home, especially because Manzardo's not fast. And the pitcher, Will Vest, did an excellent job of not panicking. A lot of times in those situations, I think why Jose stopped is, a lot of times in that situation, a pitcher is going to panic, right? A pitcher's going to panic and make the throw too early. What a pitcher's supposed to do in that situation is exactly what Vest did. You get the ball and you run towards run right at the runner. And you don't throw the ball until the last second.
You pump fake
or you tag.
Yeah, right.
And that's what he did. Jose was hoping that the pitcher would get antsy. That's a huge spot. That the pitcher would get antsy in that spot, would commit to the throw too early, and then he'd either be able to get home or he'd be able to hold up the rundown enough to get Manzardo in the scoring position. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. He probably, looking back, should have gone straight home. I don't have a problem with it. The leaving on contact, I don't know how anybody could. If it was nobody out, then you'd have a fair complaint. But it wasn't nobody out. It was one.
I just think that when you hit that ball like that, it was just a tough situation because it went back to the pitcher. And the pitcher really did a good job of fielding the baseball. There's 3 or 4 things that could happen. The pitcher could bobble it. Then if he bobbles it, he may make a wild throw. Or be in a position where he kind of panics a little bit. But, it was just a tough thing because and another thing, too, is would you rather it be Jose Ramirez making a call on the bases, and he's really good at that, or him playing it safe and hoping that a rookie's going to come up in that spot and knock him in? He's like, I'm going to take this on. I'm going to put it on myself.
Jose, before that play, is thinking, ground ball, I got to go. Because otherwise, Kafis is up with 2 outs and I'm still on third. And that's a tricky spot.
Very tricky.
Kafis obviously popped up, so it didn't matter.
It didn't matter anyway.
So I think Jose did the right thing. It didn't work out. It's a heartbreaking way to lose because you gave the Tigers those 2 runs. As bad as the Guardians' offense was, and it was bad, so was the Tigers' offense. I mean, their offense didn't do much either. And Gavin Williams pitched great. Hunter Gaddis did a great job. Cade Smith got in some trouble. Cade Smith got in some trouble, and then he got himself out of it.
That was crazy how he got himself out of it.
It's a bummer that they lost, but this series is not over. The team that wins game 1 almost always wins this series, But I think in this case, I still think the Guardians can win the series, and I think they're going to win tonight behind Bibee. It'll be Casey Mize for the Tigers, and we'll look ahead to Game 2 and the lineup, which I'm very excited about. A little bit later in the show, there's the pitching matchup. But it was a bummer. Great atmosphere at the field last, or at least, I mean, I wasn't at the game, but just between hearing it on the radio and watching it on TV. I like the I can't remember who was calling the game on TV now. Do you guys remember?
It was an ESPN broadcast.
Yeah.
Was it Carl Ravitch? No, Ravitch was doing the Yankee game.
Ravitch did the later game. I had to restart my computer. I lost internet.
It might have been Tessitore. I don't know. I remember thinking, it's a good broadcast. I was happy with it. I thought it was a good broadcast. And anyway, shout out to my guy Mike Ferrin, who's doing the game on ESPN Radio. He was calling a good game too. I went back and forth between him and Amy. The other playoff games yesterday. Did you guys see what happened at the end of the Red Sox-Yankees game?
I did not. I didn't.
Did you see it, Mike? So, as everybody knows, I hate the Yankees. So the Yankees got a 1-0 lead early on a home run by Volpe. Red Sox took the lead on a 2-run single, or maybe it was a double by what's his name, Japanese player.
It was Sean McDonough on the call.
Oh, Sean McDonough, he was good.
Wow, I didn't know you were okay.
Anyway, it was 3-1. It was 3. It doesn't matter, but it was 3-1 Red Sox going to the bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth. Aroldis Chapman comes in, or he actually got the final out of the 8th inning, Aroldis Chapman, against the Yankees. And then he starts the 9th inning, hit. So the Yankees have the bases loaded, nobody out. It's 3-1, and I was thinking, damn it, the friggin' Yankees are going to come back and win. They had the bases loaded, nobody out, and he got out of the inning, which is they didn't score a run.
No outs.
I think it was strikeout, fly out, strikeout? I can't remember now.
Yep. Bo, real quick, back to the Guardians.
You don't want to talk about your former favorite team, the Yankees, losing?
No, but I want to hit one more thing on them, then we can talk about the rest of baseball for a second. But we're going to preview Game 2 in a little bit. Bibee, the lineup changes, all that. From a mentality standpoint, if you were in that locker room following the loss last night, and G, I want to ask you the same question. At home, you get a great performance from your starter in Gavin Williams. The bats just can't come through. From a mentality standpoint, how quickly can you flush that out and turn the page for Game 2?
I think they'll be fine today, but I will say I was talking with Zach, obviously, on the Guardian Show. We did a Guardian Show last night about 6:40. He said it was quiet. A lot of the guys didn't stick around, so they were kind of down, which I understand, but I think they'll be ready to go today. They understand. They understand they faced the best pitcher in baseball yesterday. It should be, and they got an exciting lineup. I think some of these young guys are going to be excited to be hitting together. And I don't know. What do you think?
Well, listen, that's one of those things where, it's a sobering effect. Like, they had a couple of walk-off wins against the Rangers. It's sobering. You come off of, winning the division in Cinderella fashion, and you got home, you got the red uniforms on. We done beat Scuba before. Listen, this is a team of destiny, and then you get out there, and he out here just dealing.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of like, we're in a dogfight.
Right. Can we get the bats going again? Because we shut them down.
Now, if the mindset, if I'm Stephen Vogt, is I'm telling the guys, we're not in it trying to go deep into the count. When we get up here, find the pitch you're looking for and drive it somewhere. Because to me, the best opportunity for them to ease that thing in the back of your head of, I hope this doesn't bury us, is the simple fact that if you get you some runs early, you get some young dudes, you get 3 to 4 runs early. Tanner Bibee now is comfortable a little bit more. You got an opportunity to throw it and throw strikes. I think that's the key to the recipe for them to win this baseball game, because they need to get some runs right now. If you get me 3 or 4 in the first couple of innings, I feel like the mojo is there, and now it's not as pressureful, because what you don't want is the young guys, the Cephas, and we already talked about Big Christmas. He shouldn't be in the lineup. But some of these younger dudes, Martinez, we don't want them to come up in a game where it's tie ball game and you talk about you fighting for your season.
Yeah. I mean, if you get shut out for most of the game again today, the Guardians could get a little tight. These things change in a hurry, no doubt about it. But listen, after what they've been through for the last month, I got to believe there's still a lot of confidence in there, and it doesn't go away based on one start, one game. You faced the best pitcher in baseball. He dominated, and you were still right there. You were still 90 feet away from tying the game in the ninth inning. So you got to come out there. You got to let it go. You put it to bed. I mean, once you wake up the next day, that game doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Now you got to go win today. You got to go win tomorrow. It's 2 games. It's not impossible. They'll have the pitching edge, in my opinion, in both of those games. So we'll see. Tanner Bibee needs to go and pitch a great game.
You know how I would relate this to tennis.
Okay.
You lost the first set.
That's right.
Still got to win 2.
That's true.
Reset. Starting a new set today, baby.
Yeah.
Win 2 in a row. It's it.
First set doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's the great thing about it.
Yeah.
I love that sport. You know that. Yeah. But I'm talking about this series in particular. It's over. Like, their Cy Young dude's gone. Like, he's not a problem the rest of the series.
That's right.
Like, go take care of these other slappies.
The rest of their pitchers on their entire roster are.
They knew they had to win that game yesterday.
That's right.
Had they lost that game, they knew they were going to lose the series.
Yes.
Now they're just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so,
fair.
Dustin, you're telling that. So what you're saying is the Detroit Tigers broke our serve.
They did.
Yeah,
they didn't break serve. I mean, they did sort of, but I mean, what they did is they just took the first set, and it's like, okay, wash it, move on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mentioned I actually got 3 of the 4 games wrong yesterday. I thought the Yankees would win. They did not.
I stripped that one too.
Although I was very happy.
They had bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth.
I know. Well, I hate the Yankees, so I wanted them to lose.
Yeah.
So then the first 3 games were like no runs. It was 2-1, 3-1, 3-1, and then the last game I didn't watch any of it. I saw Ohtani hit a home run in the first inning.
He hit 2 homers. Hernandez
what was the final score? 8-5, 10-5.
10-5.
Yeah, there was more runs scored in that game than I think it was double the runs scored of the first 3 games combined. And the Cubs won, which I didn't think. I thought the Padres were going to sweep. Cubs got some good pitching. Their bullpen didn't give up any base runners, and the Cubs got 2 back-to-back home runs. And that I didn't even realize as a fan that the Cubs had not won a playoff game since 2017. I didn't realize that.
Bad job out of you.
They had gotten swept in 18 and 20, and they haven't been in the playoffs since 20. So,
I guess the thing that you can't escape with the Guardians is one of the things that we've talked about all year is they don't have a lineup that can deal with some of this stuff. Like where you get we just talked about the home runs that other teams get, Ohtani's and obviously Judge and the Yankees. They got a source of power where they can count on that. They can count on, hey, we've been down all game, but we have a thing called a 3-run home run that is scary and crazy that we could just pull out when we want to. For the Guardians, it's not so much. It's 2. You lose 2-1. Now you're wondering where these runs coming from today.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, they've got to get some surprise power. That's how they're going to win in the playoffs. It's got to happen. They need it to happen today. You might be able to win some low-scoring games against the Tigers potentially, but if they're going to, I know they got to get through this, and it's far from a sure thing, but if they're going to go further in the playoffs, it's going to happen. You're going to have some guys, and that's why I'm excited about the potential of today's lineup, and why we'll get to that.
We got 2 minutes with Ross Tucker. Give us a little teaser on.
So, Chase DeLauder is making his major league debut in this game, which is just wild.
6th player ever to make their major league debut. That? Zach Meisel tweeted that Chase DeLauder is just the 6th player in the history of the sport to make his major league debut in a playoff.
It's crazy, and he hasn't played since the summer.
July was his last game.
Yeah, I mean, he was hurt. So not only is he making his major league debut, only the 6th player ever to make his major league debut in the postseason, but he hasn't played in 3 months.
Adam, I'm getting texts from my sickos. They're wondering if this could be a good day to take a Cephas home run.
I mean, any home run prop is going to be huge plus money.
Or here's the one that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Curious, you guys. Shout out FanDuel.
Yeah.
Ramirez, 2 home runs today.
Nah, I wouldn't bet on
that.
That
would be crazy.
I would not bet
it's
on
that. It's like 50-1.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying it's likely, but if you want a cool lottery ticket and you're wondering how the Guardians are going to win the series, it's going to be your star.
They need to hit home runs. Jose, people are on Jose because he hasn't been good. in the postseason in recent years.
Dude, I've never seen a batter in person that is like impossible to strike out. He gets a bat on every ball.
He seems to. Yeah, he does. But he needs a big game. He needs to kind of put the team on his shoulders today. So what the hell? Throw $2 on a
if you get
Jose Ramirez 2 home runs. I could definitely see Kafis hitting a home run today.
Are you going to give listen, we kill him all the time.
Yeah.
Are you going to give the front office, because we kind of did some deductions.
Yeah.
Front office has a lot to say with who plays in that lineup.
Yeah.
Will you give them credit for saying this is not a conservative move? This is
No.
a Duke and knee-jerk.
Not only is DeLauder in the postseason, I mean, on the lineup today, but they're starting Kafis, Valera, and DeLauder, which I never thought they'd do. Yesterday on the Guardian show, I said, Zach and I were like, DeLauder's not really a center fielder. He's a right fielder. And he's starting his first major league game in the playoffs, season on the line, in a position he hasn't played much, center field.
What
because
changed?
they want to get all of Kafis, Valera, and DeLauder all in the lineup. I don't know. They're being gutsy for the first time
Ever.
I like it.
I've never seen it.
Hopefully it's not too late.
Get them
All
young.
right, Mike.
Yeah, we'll preview Game 2 after we talk to Ross Tucker, but we got Ross in the queue, so let's bring him on after a reminder that Monarch Money is a proud sponsor of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why Monarch Money is available. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool bringing you your entire financial life in one place. It is easy to use, and you can use it on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, so you're finally feeling in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let the financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That is 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com using promo code LOCKEDONNFL.
Let's talk to Ross Tucker is with us. I think there he is. Ross, what's going on? Hey, Ross, I'm sure everybody in England right now is excited for this very exciting matchup between Carson Wentz and Dillon Gabriel. We've been waiting years for this primetime matchup, no?
Well, listen, I mean, first of all, what I love about the folks over there, I don't know how many people watching right now are going over, but I've called a couple games over there on the radio. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine going to a stadium, okay, and almost every single person has a jersey, but it's of every different team in the NFL.
Right.
It's like a kaleidoscope of colors. It's like a football festival. So if you love and cherish American football like I do, I just it warms my heart to see all these folks from all over Europe. I mean, they come in from Germany and Ireland and everywhere to come to the UK for these games to celebrate their love for American football. It makes me very, very happy. Carson Wentz looks like he's one of them. I mean, Carson Wentz looks like he's from Ireland or from the UK. And I think Dillon Gabriel starting this game really just adds to the intrigue. Now, were there some people that probably would have thought it would be cool to see Joe Flacco and Super Bowl quarterback and all that, but maybe. But I think, I don't know about you guys, I get excited anytime a guy gets his first start in the NFL. In particular, a quarterback, in particular, a rookie. You know, who knows? I mean, maybe Dillon Gabriel is going to end up being a top 10 guy. Maybe he's the Browns' answer. I have no idea, but it's the unknown, I think, that's really compelling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's interesting. You could go back and be like, when was like Russell Wilson's first start? When was Brock Purdy's first start? Like guys that you didn't necessarily think were going to become really household names. Dak Prescott, sure, another one. And here we are with Gabriel. It's like, I guess the question I have for you, Ross, is this the right week to do it? You know, with it being a London week, the travel. I've never made this trip. I've never played overseas. I'm not sure if you have, but you've done it with your travel now, doing it in broadcasting. It's a lot, I'm sure. Is this the right week to do it?
Well, so the only international game I ever played was 2002 preseason. We played the Niners in Osaka, Japan.
Wow.
That was far.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, to go to the UK is like 6 or 7 hours. Japan was like 20 hours. I mean, that was craziness that we did that. I think it's more about the Vikings defense, Dustin. I think it's more about what they bring to the table with Brian Flores, who's got arguably the most complex and unique blitz scheme, blitz package in the NFL. That's the thing that gives me a little bit of pause and a little bit of hesitation. The flip side, though, is when you really go through it, would next week at Pittsburgh be that much better? I mean, you can play this game forever. There's probably never like an ideal week. I mean, maybe a couple weeks later when they played the Dolphins at home, that would have been a safer landing spot. But what happens if they win this week with Flacco? Then he's probably in there for a couple more weeks. So I think there's pros and cons of both. The reality is they've resigned themselves to the fact that they're probably not going to the playoffs. So as soon as you know that, why not evaluate Dillon Gabriel as soon as you can for as long as you can, especially considering there's still a chance by the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they evaluate Shedeur Sanders for a few games. So I think it was fine to peel the Band-Aid now, because if they went over to London and Flacco got him a win against the Vikings, then you'd probably leave him in for a couple more weeks again, and I don't think they wanted that.
Ross, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I said I think that they will have a different game plan. You may see three different game plans between what they run specifically with Flacco, with Dillon Gabriel, or with Shedeur Sanders. I think that they do have some other things that they can do with the playbook now with a little more mobile quarterback. Do you think you'll see a few new wrinkles in terms of schematically from Kevin Stefanski with Dillon Gabriel under center?
1,000%. Number one, I can tell you right now, you're going to see more boots to the left than you've seen. I mean, he's a lefty. I called that preseason game Browns-Eagles, and that's what he does really well. He throws well on the move. He gets the ball out of his hands quickly. I think you're going to see a lot of quick underneath passing, which is smart, but also the Vikings aren't stupid. They know that that's what they're going to do. So would I be surprised if Dillon Gabriel had a pick six in this game? Definitely not, because he's going to be trying to get it out quick with timing and rhythm. The Vikings are going to know that. They're going to try to jump some of these underneath routes. They better bake in a double move early. Otherwise, Isaiah Rodgers or one of these guys is going to take it the other way for a touchdown. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to try and get the ball out of Gabriel's hands quickly. They're going to see if they can run it. You'll see a bunch of boot action, especially booting out to the left, because that's somewhat unique. But again, Flores is no dummy. So when he boots out to the left, you would think the edge guy on that side is going to be going upfield and be right in his face. That's what I would tell him to do. I would tell him any run away, I want you to go directly for the quarterback and anticipate that it's boot coming back this way to the left.
Ross, is Brian Flores happy that the Browns changed quarterbacks or no?
That's a great question, Bull.
Thank you.
Fantastic question.
I think he probably has mixed emotions.
Okay.
I think on the one hand, I think he probably likes that it's a rookie quarterback who hasn't seen a lot of the stuff he's going to throw at him, as opposed to Flacco, who has seen anything and everything that could ever be out there. So on the one hand, he probably likes it. On the other hand, coaches really don't like the unknown, and all this did was give him more work. If he's over there in UK, now he's got to do more work. He's got to go back, watch Gabriel in the preseason, maybe even a couple of Oregon games. Certainly, that last drive he had against the Ravens a couple weeks ago and the game I did for CBS, he'll watch all of that. But there's also still the unknown of exactly how Stefanski will use him, and that annoys coaches because they feel like they can't properly prepare for the unknown. They start chasing ghosts a little bit. So I would say he definitively has mixed emotions.
I have some stats real quick on Flores versus rookie quarterbacks. This is going to be one of my 5 stats for Friday, but I'll give you a little teaser. Since 2019, when Flores took over as the head coach in Miami, he is 9-1 straight up against rookie quarterbacks, 6-2 against the spread and 1 push. Rookie quarterbacks against Flores have a negative 0.158 EPA per dropback, which is in the 32nd percentile, and those teams average just 16.3 points per game. So he's been historically
done a good job,
really darn good against rookie quarterbacks. So
why do you think that is, Ross? Why has he had so much success against rookies, you think?
Because what's crazy is, I don't know if this was the same last year, but I talk with this every Thursday on the Ross Tucker podcast with Greg Cosell. Last year, he brought more blitzes of 6 or more than any other team in the NFL. He also dropped 8 and only rushed 3 more than any other team in the NFL. So think about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so most people, they're rushing 4. If they blitz, they bring a 5th guy, right? Every once in a while, they'll do a cover 0 or whatever. Flores, he's kind of feast or famine, and I like it in the sense that those are very, very different, and just by the very nature that he's first in both categories, the quarterbacks don't see it at all. They don't see 8 guys dropping into coverage, nowhere to go with the ball that much. They don't see, oh man, I got an all-out blitz, I got to get rid of it right now that often. And by the way, he does a pretty good job of disguising which one of those 2 it's going to be. So you might think pre-snap, here comes the cover 0 all-out blitz, and meanwhile they drop 8, and vice versa. So I just think it rattles quarterbacks. I think a rookie quarterback, I think they're not used to it, and I don't think scout teams do a very good job of properly preparing them for it. And I think that's going to be a struggle for Dillon Gabriel. I will say this though, there's going to be rookie growing pains for him. I think there's something to be said for getting him out of the way. You know, like, okay, it's not a hostile crowd. It's not going to be loud, cheering against the Browns. So communication will be okay. He's going to learn some hard lessons, but let's get these lessons out of the way so he can come back and maybe win in Pittsburgh and certainly hopefully win against the Dolphins at home.
Ross, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We said, hey, the news is that Shedeur Sanders is going to be still the emergency quarterback. Flacco will be the backup quarterback. And me and Dustin said that was kind of predictable. Can you kind of walk the audience through some of the responsibilities that backup quarterbacks have on game day? Because people think like, oh, well, why wouldn't Shedeur be the backup quarterback? And we're like, well, there's a whole set of processes that they want him, and I think they really want Joe to still be engaged in helping Dillon. So can you kind of explain what the process is, that when you are a backup quarterback as a veteran, what are some things that they are tasked with doing with younger guys that are starters?
Well, here's the biggest thing in my mind, right? There was all those garbage articles during the summer and preseason games about, the Browns setting up Shedeur Sanders to fail, which is comical. They're the team that drafted him. Like, what are we even talking about? You think they drafted him and set him up to fail? That's ridiculous. But I think that they recognize if they made him the number 2 quarterback, then they would be setting him up to fail. Because, as you guys know, the number 2 quarterback gets almost no reps during the week. And that's especially the case if the starter is a rookie. They're trying to get Dillon Gabriel prepared to play in the game. They're trying to have him see every rep and every look he's going to see during the week of practice this week. So the backup has to be a guy that can function with 0 reps. That does not appear to be the case with Shedeur Sanders right now. Flacco's been doing this forever. He started the first 4 games. If he has to go in there, he'll be fine. I think if something happened to Gabriel and you put Shedeur in, it could be ugly, like real bad. If he had to go out there against Flores' defense with 0 reps during the week, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they feel Shedeur is comfortable enough to be the number 2 guy. But they also might not. They also might think that's a bad spot to put him in. Let's roll with Gabriel as long as Gabriel's playing well or they want to see what he's doing. And then there could be absolutely a scenario where they leapfrog Shedeur up to number 1. He goes from number 3 to number 1, and then maybe Gabriel's 2 or Flacco 2 at that point. I don't know. But that's very possible given the difference between starter reps and backup reps. They might not want to have Shedeur have a chance to play until he's actually the starter getting all the reps during the week.
Makes sense.
Ross, the Ravens are 1-3. Lamar tweaked his hamstring. Not sure how serious it is, or if he would have, come back in the game. They said maybe he would have had it not been a blowout. But their schedule's still favorable the next 5-6 weeks. But I worry about Lamar's hamstring, and I also worry about that defense. Like, do you think the Ravens are cooked, or is the playoff still on the table?
If Lamar was healthy, I would tell you I think that the Ravens are still the class of the AFC North, and I'd be surprised if they don't win the division. With him being out 2 or 3 weeks, like to me, that's the difference between them beating the Houston Texans or not. With Lamar, they beat the Houston Texans. Without Lamar, they probably don't beat the Houston Texans on Sunday. It's a big difference. Yep. That's a huge difference. And so now I think it'll come down to the very end. Depending on how long Lamar's out, I still think the Steelers are probably a 10-win team. I think the Ravens probably are too. So I think both those teams will be in the 9 to 11 win neighborhood would be my guess as we get to week 17 and 18. Wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens still win the division. I think they're the best team, but they're certainly not playing like it, and the Lamar injury complicates things. I'll tell you what else. To lose Matabike for the season, I can't remember the last time a team won a Super Bowl without their best defensive lineman. So to me, that almost automatically eliminates the Niners and the Ravens. You can get by with injuries at certain positions, but so I think D-line is the second most important position in the sport, and your best D lineman. That's not like. Can you imagine the Browns without Myles Garrett? Just forget. Just
0-17. Yeah.
Oh, don't let people into the stadium. Just finish. It's over. Forget it. Forget the deep. You cannot lose that guy, especially when they're a really high end guy.
Ross, I want to talk about offensive line play in the league right now because obviously the last few years it seems to be slowly trending where obviously offense was on the rise. Passing yards was through the roof. Offense was huge. And in the last couple of years, it's going kind of the other way. Now, obviously, some of it is because you have safeties playing deeper, and that's a big part of it. But I think at least, just from watching games, that the defensive lines have, no offense to you and your fellow offensive linemen, but I think defensive linemen have become too athletic for a lot of offensive linemen to handle. And I think we're seeing quarterbacks just getting killed, and we're seeing a lot of injuries. Is there a problem with offensive line play, or am I making something out of nothing?
So I'll tell you what I think the problem is.
Okay.
I think the biggest problem is offensive line depth around the NFL. And you guys have experienced that.
Oh, yeah.
At the offensive tackle position. I think for the most part, offensive line play is fine across the league. Now, it's never going to be what you want it to be in September because these guys don't play in the preseason games, and they don't play with each other. So whereas that was when we got our reps in back in the day, when I was starting at center for the Browns in between Kosi Coleman and Joe Andruzzi in the glorious 05 preseason, we used to get our reps together. That's when you communicate. It's when you do the things.
Yeah.
Now, those guys don't play much in the preseason. Yeah. So that's a part of it for the starters. So they're feeling that out. But then when there's injuries and the backups go in, here's the big difference. D-line, and you see this in the preseason games too, D-lines rotate. Yeah. D-lines play 8 to 10 guys, okay? Offensive lines do not rotate. So not only, it's not a fatigue thing, it's D-lines usually have 6 to 8 guys that can really play. O-lines, you're lucky. Usually the 6th guy, like a Cornelius Lucas, is pretty good, right? But then you get to the 7th guy or the 8th guy, you start to have major issues, and they don't get nearly the same amount of reps as the guys they're going against. So they're going out there having not played at all in the first 3 games or 5 games or whatever, and now they're going against D linemen, all of whom get 20-plus snaps a game. To me, it's a big, big difference.
You think the league is going to they've made all these rules to try to protect the quarterbacks, and yet quarterbacks are still getting hurt, right? I guess there's really nothing they could do further. I don't know what else you'd do, right?
Well, whatever they can do, they're going to try.
Yeah, that's
I can
true.
assure you of that. Just watch the Monday night game between the Broncos and the Bengals. Nobody wants to watch that.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was a blowout, right? I mean, I know, Bull, you grew up a Bengals fan or whatever. If Burrow's playing, that is a totally different game. Yeah. We're all tweeting about it. We're all talking about it. We're all enjoying it. Yeah. Instead, it was a blowout that, you stop watching in the third quarter, and that's because Burrow wasn't out there. So from a business standpoint, and the owners know this, they have got to do whatever they can within reason to keep those guys healthy.
Does that include red jerseys in regular season NFL games, Ross?
There you go. Yeah, give him that look. Come on.
Hey, they said you do everything.
Give him that look.
Well, no.
Flag football for quarterbacks?
It does not include that.
We can't go that far.
I think we would riot if that happened. But it's also on some level on these coaches to help these guys get rid of the ball quick, faster. That's the difference between college and the NFL. It just doesn't seem like these guys come into the league, the quarterbacks, as quick-minded, I think is the best way to describe it, as they used to be. And so now they're trying to read things out and go through their progressions. Their progression in college is like quick screen or fade. That's their progression in college. Then they get to the NFL, it's like, holy cow, 1 to 2 to dead.
Ross, the NFL is becoming unwatchable to me, and let me explain why. There's a flag on every play.
Yeah.
Every play. I don't know if it's because we've got such great athletic quarterbacks now that can get outside the pocket, where linemen end up getting more holding calls, more guys down the field with the RPOs. I don't know what it is, brother, but it's unwatchable to be able to watch. Like, you see a big play, and you can't even enjoy it.
You're looking for the flag on every play.
You can't even enjoy it. Thoughts?
Huge pet peeve of mine. You're 1,000% correct. Now, listen, a lot of those are pre-snap penalties. Last year, they had over 6 pre-snap penalties per game. That was the most since 2007. So part of that is the amount of information the coaches are trying to glean before the snap with different formations, different motions. So that's part of it. The second part of it is they don't play in the preseason. So, they're going to have issues with certain looks. They're going to end up holding or whatever because they haven't gotten that out of their system in the preseason. I'm hopeful, Dustin, that it's better, October, November, December, certainly, than it was in September. That's obviously the goal and the hope. I also think, the officials could do a better job. I've said this before, I'll say it again. If I were the commissioner for a day, my number one thing would be, when in doubt, don't throw it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when in doubt, don't throw the flag. What they've been tasked with is it's clear and obvious, but these guys call things that are not clear and obvious. And so it goes to the league office to not downgrade them for those things and to really get to the point where if you're not sure, don't throw the flag, because we don't need to be throwing the flag for these things that have nothing to do with the play.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of a bunch of things, but you're right. There's too many penalties. It's nobody who likes flags. Nnobody. Literally nobody.
And the
it's like ties.
Last thing
nobody likes ties. Nobody likes flags.
Yeah.
Agreed. Last thing I'd say is, like, if it doesn't involve the play specifically, it's keep the flag in your pocket.
Unless it's a personal foul type of stuff.
Okay, that's an egregious penalty. That's crossed the line. But I'm saying, like, if there's an illegal contact on the far side of the field and we're running like a screen out of the backfield or something, it's like, well, that has nothing to do with this play.
Well, how about the illegal formation that they call? I mean, those are all so stupid. What is the point of those?
I just think if it doesn't directly affect the play, like, let's just have a little bit of
go.
Like we don't have to be like letter of the law all the time. I don't know. It's like, they don't pull you over for speeding when you're going 66 into 65, do they?
Right. No.
They could, but they don't have to. And they don't.
Sometimes they do.
All right. Sorry, Ross. That was my rant.
All right, Ross.
No, that's okay.
Who wins the Browns-Vikings game this week? Who you got?
I'll go Vikings. I don't know the advantage. I guess there's an advantage to being over there in the UK, although I'd probably be going out every night, but I don't know. I'll say the Vikings win.
Thanks, Ross. Good stuff. Everybody check out the Ross Tucker podcast, especially with Greg Cosell. Those are always great breakdowns with Greg. You get the true film breakdowns with Greg, which are awesome. So thanks, Ross. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Let's go talk a little guards, guys. A quick reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, the official sportsbook of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible opportunity to win $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. New customers can place a $5 bet. If that $5 bet wins, you get those 300 bonus bets to use whenever, however you want. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started and place your first $5 bet.
We forgot to ask. By the way, we forgot to ask Ross about speaking advanced nerd because Ross doesn't really talk that way. He doesn't talk like the advanced nerds, even though he went to nerd school.
That is true.
He's an Ivy League guy. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Game 2.
Yeah.
First pitch in about 50 minutes. Chase DeLauder in the lineup, as you mentioned earlier, Bull. If anyone missed it, Steve, take tagboard here full. This is the full lineup for the Guardians.
You're excited about this lineup, Bull?
I'm very excited about it. This is the most excited I've been about a Guardians lineup in probably 2 years because they have all these young players that I've been calling for years to be up in the big leagues in the lineup. I mean, the fact that when Zach and I were talking about this yesterday, I said, you got to have DeLauder, Kafis, and Valera in the lineup. I knew Manzardo would be in, but you got to have all three of them in. And to do that, one of them, probably DeLauder, is going to have to play a position he hasn't played much. And listen, it could backfire, and DeLauder could end up making an error in the outfield. But it's not like you have great center fielders. Angel Martinez is not a great center fielder. Neither is Daniel Schneemann or whatever. So put out a hitter. I love that. Listen, I think Chase DeLauder would have been up in the big leagues had he not gotten hurt again this summer. But this guy is one of your two best prospects. And you're like, okay, you know what? Our lineup stinks. Let's see if one of our best hitting prospects can help us. And the question is DeLauder going to be tight because he's making his major league debut in the playoffs? Or is he going to be loose as a goose? If you're Chase DeLauder right now, this has got to be the most exciting thing ever.
Hey, I'm up there swinging hard. I'm up there looking for fastball, middle of the plate, first pitch, third pitch, whatever it is. I'm coming up there with I'm not looking for nothing. I'm not swinging at nothing off speed. You have to throw me 18 strikes. Your breaking pitch is going to have to go for strikes. I'm swinging at everything over the middle of the plate.
I'm saying Chase DeLauder gets a hit in his first major league at bat in the playoffs. I got a double for Chase DeLauder in his first at bat. Mark it down. I'm excited that DeLauder, Valera, certainly Manzardo, and Kafis all in the lineup. This is a much better lineup. The Guardians are much better against right-handed pitchers. And
there it is.
Yeah.
Now, look, we used to get mad. We heard all these names.
Yeah.
We heard George Valera first.
Yeah.
We was like, Valera.
Yeah.
And guess what? We finally got him. Manzardo, he's a full-time player. He's playing every single day.
Yep.
By the way, nice piece of hitting on Scooble. I like the fact that Manzardo. Bo Naylor. Yeah, he gives us some power. Bo Naylor,
he's been hot lately.
So you heard his name. Arias, you heard the name. Chase DeLauder, CJ Kafis, Rocchio. This is the who's who. Remember that show, remember that little book they used to have back in high school, the who's who in high school, and you have to use his name on there. Used to be like, no, you.
Yeah, no idea what's
okay.
No clue.
I'm trying really hard.
Yeah, it's okay.
No,
it's okay.
I probably do, but we don't have the time to elaborate more.
It's like Bill Crew, like all those scouting services.
We'll talk after the show.
We'll get it. But that is the who's who of your minor league scouting report, right?
Yeah.
If you went down and said, Baseball Scouts of America, who are your top prospects in your farm system? You would have heard all of those names for about the last 5 to 10 years. And guess what? Who would have thought all of them would be in the lineup right now during a playoff game?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
They weren't even up at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and listen, most of them are unproven right now, outside of Manzardo, who's had a good first full season. But there's an excitement level because Kafis and DeLauder and Valera both have legitimate power. They're legitimate prospects, and there's a chance that they could all be good players. And so there's potential in this lineup. Again, also you're going from Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball, to Casey Mize, who's a good pitcher, but not anywhere close to Tarek Skubal. Mize was actually the first overall pick in the draft in I don't remember what year, but
you got to feel good with Bibee on the mound too. He's been pitching awesome of late.
That's right.
And in a must-win situation, I know we talked about would you start Bibee or Gavin in Game 1.
Yeah.
They went with Gavin. He pitched a gem.
I don't think there was any debate who you go in Game 1 based on how they pitched this year.
Well, I'm just saying down the stretch, they've both been pitching really well. We at least mentioned it for a second.
Yeah.
In Game 2, you certainly feel like Cleveland has the pitching advantage over Casey Mize.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think it's huge because Mize pitched well also. Actually has better numbers for the season than Bibee does. But and he was an all-star, which Bibee wasn't. But down the stretch, Bibee pitched better than Mize did. And neither of these pitchers are huge strikeout pitchers. So we'll see more contact in this game. We should see more balls in play.
I like that.
And that's I think the Guardians have to take advantage of that.
If he's a contact type pitcher, he's not going to strike out a bunch of people with power pitches. Well, then this is a perfect opportunity because if you bring that lineup back up, this is difficult because I've not seen this in a while. Look at the level. Besides Quan, he's a table setter or whatever the case.
Yeah.
But look at the number of guys that you can go down the list that can hit home runs or potentially with one swing of the bat.
Yeah, there's a lot of power potential at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah.
So
which they don't usually have. Again, most of it's just potential and not proven. But
here's what we talked about, the timely hitting factor or the timely home runs. You want to give yourself an opportunity to have somebody down in the 7th or 8th hole that if you're at the bottom of the lineup, you still have an opportunity to catch somebody slipping.
And the Tigers have no scouting report on Chase DeLauder.
At all.
Nothing, because they did not – they're scrambling today, or probably yesterday when they heard he was going to be on the roster, because he hasn't played. They were not – there's no way the Tigers thought that he would be on this roster. I didn't think he'd be on the roster until Zach said something about the possibility on Monday. And so they're scrambling, and they're going to go be looking at his, some Columbus tape from earlier this year. But, you heard Ross Tucker talk about, even though, like Brian Flores might be split on the fact that the Browns went to a rookie quarterback because it's the unknown. You don't like the unknown as a coach on the other team. Well, you got that to some, not only, obviously there's no tape. There's no major league tape because he hasn't played in the majors on DeLauder, but obviously Kafis doesn't have many at bats. Valera doesn't have a ton.
Not a ton.
So listen, those guys, none of them played yesterday. Valera and Kafis came off the bench, but now you have the two of them plus DeLauder all starting today, and that's exciting. We talked about the excitement of the unknown of the rookie quarterback. Well, here's the excitement of the unknown of the top prospect coming up to play his first major league game in a spot that couldn't be any bigger. Your season's on the line. You lose today, the season is over.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting.
It's not – I can't believe he walked Austin Hedges twice yesterday.
Great at bats.
I saw a stat. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Scooble, including yesterday,
Yeah.
walked 36 hitters all season.
Yeah.
8.6% of those walks are to Austin Hedges.
Had he walked them before these two?
Yeah, twice during the regular season.
So he walked 4 of his 36 walks were
That's a crazy
Hedges?
stat.
Yep.
it's not like Hedges walks a lot anyway.
Right.
That is bizarre.
He's batting $166.
Casey, Tarek Skubal is afraid of Austin Hedges. What's
I
happening?
can't believe that Austin Hedges is living well in his dreams and nightmares.
When Hedges, that second walk that Hedges had, it was he fell behind him 3-0, and then he threw 2 strikes right down the middle, and Hedges was taking, not surprisingly, because Skubal knew he was taking those pitches. And then the 3-2 pitch, he didn't even challenge him. That was stunning. If you go back and look at that 3-2 pitch to Hedges, it wasn't even close.
Is Hedges the Skubal stopper? I think
definitely
the
not.
Has to be asked.
As a
Maybe
coach,
Hedges,
as a baseball coach, you definitely have sent somebody up the plate just to simply walk. I
haven't told them that, but I've hoped that they would just walk. Yes.
And when you're playing Mighty Mike baseball, you're sitting the smallest guy you can.
You're not swinging a pitch.
Yeah, he's 4'1".
Yeah.
You're go up there, stand really close to the plate. Yeah.
I don't tell the kids that because I don't. But there have been times with the last kid or two on the team where I'm like,
they understand the assignment.
No, I don't do that. I want them to go. I tell them to be aggressive and go up there because I want the kids to enjoy. But secretly in my mind, I'm like, please let him walk. Please let him walk.
Well, do you appreciate this meme?
Let's see. Billy. This is Tarek Skubal. He is the best pitcher in the league. His one flaw, he can't throw a straight ball at the pitch. That's good.
The parents is excited, pumped. Yeah! You know your kid is a walker. You know you ain't here.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm talking about.
And then at the end of the game where I'm doing stats, I'm like, and Joey got on base twice today.
Both on the on-base percentage out there.
Right.
We all got to have a Roger Dorn.
Yeah, got to. Take one for the team, son. But, yeah, listen, I'm excited about that lineup, and there should be no pressure. That you guys didn't even do anything to get here. The rest of the guys who got you here, they're not in the lineup today. Go up there and swing freely. Come on.
Yeah, and listen, Bibee's got to pitch like he did down the stretch because obviously for a lot of this year, he was inconsistent. He seemed to have one bad inning every game. Can't afford that. He's got to go out there and be the guy we've seen pitch this final month. I think he had what did he have, Mike, in September? Like a 140 ERA?
Bibee, yeah, it was sub-2. I'll pull up the exact numbers, but it was
Yeah,
sub-2.
I mean, he was great in September after mostly a forgettable season. Not horrible, but not good. And he was just tremendous down the stretch, and that's what they need from him.
You guys nervous?
About the game?
Yeah.
In September's ERA, boy,
What am I nervous for? I mean, I barely thought they'd even be here.
But it's kind of like when you get here, it's like
Because they've had this miraculous run, it would be like such a letdown. But I'm not even thinking about that. I think I'm very confident.
I feel confident today. I feel confident. I'm a little nervous for him, but go ahead, Mike. What was the ERA in September?
1.3.
1.3.
You were too high at 1.4, so.
What's that? I was a little high at 1.4.
You guessed 1.4, and it's better than 1.4.
That's true. 1.3.
Crazy.
I like it. So that's what. Hey, if he has a 1.3 ERA today, that's great.
The Guardians going to need a pitching performance like that for sure. Do they win before we get to our last
I think they're
topic?
going to win today.
You think yes. Dustin, what say you?
I actually would lay the run line, which gives you a minus 1.5, 160-ish. So I think they're going to win. I'm going to call it 4-1.
What are the Guardians on the money line?
It's minus
On
130.
the money line.
Minus 130?
Give or take.
I'm seeing minus 130 as well.
I'm gonna take them to win. I'm gonna take them to win.
It's a toss-up game.
It is. It's funny in these quick series. You can go from being very excited very quickly to
very
being
home.
like,
Wish we could have one of these be a night game.
man, I'm at the crib.
Well, tomorrow could be if the other series are over.
They pack it. You go from like, we looking good, and then you cleaning out your dugout.
Yeah.
Cleaning out your.
Well,
When do they close out those series and then let's get a night game tomorrow night?
It could be. There's no way the Reds are going to beat the Dodgers, so that game will be.
That's over.
Will be over. The other two, I mean, the Padres and Yankees could definitely win games too.
Could the Sox win tonight?
I would.
They could.
Yeah, I mean they're both toss-ups. I think I don't know what the pitching matchup is for the Red Sox Yankees.
Tonight, the pitching matchups for the Sox Yankees is
Bayo.
It is Bayo versus Carlos Rondon.
Yeah, I'd give the edge to the Yankees. It's in Yankee Stadium.
How big? So let just kind of compare. I just wanted to take the temperature.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like low key a madhouse out for us right now because the game. But how big is a playoff game between the Yankees and Red Sox compared to the buzz here?
I mean, it's crazy.
Is it the buzz of like a football? Is it more like a football game buzz?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's those fans hate each other. It's very intense. Supposedly, on what's the website where you buy tickets?
SeatGeek?
SeatGeek, StubHub.
No.
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster. That you couldn't, unless you had an address in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania, you were not able to buy tickets to the Yankees game.
Wow, is that legal?
They started to be able to geo-track where the tickets are being bought.
I don't know.
Legal?
They were the only game that was happening. That was not happening in the other series.
Yeah.
Like you could buy if you're from.
Why would you do that?
That seems
So
silly.
you can't
They
sell
don't
to
want.
Boston
I
fans.
guess they don't want Red Sox fans buying tickets, but there were plenty of Red Sox fans there.
I had a buddy there that said there was way too many Red Sox fans.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
Because in the other game, I mean, I didn't notice a lot of Tigers fans here. Were there? There might have been. I didn't notice it.
I had a couple friends that went to the Guardians game yesterday.
Yeah.
Said not a lot of Tigers fans, but it's a 1:00 start, so it wasn't like the full atmosphere of a night game would get.
And then obviously after the Guardians was over, I watched the Cubs Padres. I don't think I saw a single Padres fan at Wrigley Field. There probably were some, but
is that thing done today, you think?
I thought the Cubs were going to lose the series. I don't know. Who's pitching for the Padres? I know Imanaga's pitching.
Cease.
Oh, it's Cease?
Cease, yeah.
Yeah, Cubs could win that game. I mean, the Cubs bullpen has quietly been great. But by the way, if you want to see something special, I don't know if he's going to pitch today. He might not. The Padres have a relief pitcher named Mason Miller, who was on the Athletics until this year. He got traded to the Padres. I hadn't seen him pitch in a while because he was on Oakland. And
he's fun.
This guy is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. He throws like 103, 104. He's huge. And then
like,
he's
what's
got
huge?
like
6'6"?
I don't know. He's probably like 6'6", but he's like kind of thick.
It's like a
big ass,
a big tight end.
You know, and he's. I always talk about the pitchers with Gavin Williams. Got a big ass. I like a pitcher with a big ass. It helps you be a better pitcher.
Talk to my neighbor, the accountant. Huge ass.
He's listed at 6'5", 220.
6'5", 220. He looks bigger than that.
He's a big dude.
But his ball moves, man. He doesn't just throw the fastball. It's unbelievable.
He's crazy. And we got one last quick topic we got to get to before we feature a bunch of winning FanDuel tickets. We got a bunch over the weekend. We're going to feature them all after we do a quick topic brought to us by Mazda. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. G. Bush, Dustin, and Bull. The Browns made a couple roster changes yesterday, including sending Cedric Tillman to the injured reserve list, which means he'll miss at least the next 4 games. We'll do this quick. We don't spend too much time on it. But
when did he get hurt, by the way, in the game? I don't even remember him getting hurt.
I frankly don't remember either.
Yeah.
He got hurt. It was it was late in the fourth quarter, or third and fourth quarter. It was a 3rd and 20-something, and he ran a deep dig. And he came off a break and pulled up on his hamstring. So, it was...
Was it non-contact, though, G?
Non-contact.
So it's a hamstring?
Yeah, hamstring.
He's out at least 4 weeks.
He's on the IR, so at least 4 weeks.
Right.
So the question I wanted to ask, we had talked about Cedric Tillman maybe becoming that number 2 receiver, becoming their solidified X in this offense, but injuries continue to plague him. Can we ever get to a point, do you think we will ever get to a point where the Browns can actually trust Cedric Tillman to stay healthy enough to even prove he should or should not be considered for one of those spots?
Nah, listen, not at this point. And to take it from an injury-prone guy. You know, it was a point in time where I was the number 1 recruit at OU, and then I tore ACL. Then I came back and I tore another ACL. Then I had back surgery. And pretty soon, that was a point in time, they brought other dudes in. Were they as good as me? No. But the coach, the trainer said, look, I mean, those guys below you aren't as good as you, but they have to get that person to be competent. They may take an L this year, right? But at least they can say in year 2 or 3, he may be able to be a player that could be, somewhere in the neighborhood as good as you, even if you're way better than him now. At some point in time, they turn the page because they got to have something that's concrete, even if you got great talent. And Cedric Tillman has, the size. He has the physicality. It looks the part. But the thing is, he's not dependable in terms of your body type. Like, in football, there's no knock to his mental aspect of it. Football is a savage sport for everybody except for the quarterback, right? So, sometimes it's a little luck. Sometimes it's a little, if you wrong hit here or there. But for me, Cedric Tillman is not somebody who's going to be a guy that you just count on and name as a top player for the Browns. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's just kind of been a guy. Like he was a 3rd-round pick, big play type of guy that you thought you may see some plays from. Hasn't really done much of anything, been banged up. Like, I don't know. I mean, sort of out of sight, out of mind now with his injury. But they need to find a number 1 receiver, and certainly it's not Judy, it's not Tillman, it's not on this roster.
Are we seeing Deshaun Watson throw to him in this video?
Adam, these are old clips.
It's the most recent practice footage we have of Cedric Tillman.
So, as much as we are critical of Cedric Tillman, he was their 2nd best wide receiver.
He was.
That's how bad their wide receiving core is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a debate. He was clearly their 2nd best wide receiver. Isaiah Bond's a raw guy with speed. He's had his moments. I couldn't even, outside of Jamari Thrash, I don't even know who their other receivers are.
They just signed Malachi Corley off
Corley,
the practice.
who was drafted by the Jets, I think.
Yep. Gage Larvadan has been called back up.
I mean,
and
look at
Jamari
this.
Thrash and Isaiah Bond.
Those guys aren't
and Jerry
NFL
Jeudy.
players. Jamari Thrash is not an NFL player. We talked about this yesterday. Jamari Thrash couldn't start for the Buckeyes.
Facts.
They have
Not many players in the league can start for the Buckeyes.
But this is that's one of the funniest stats, and we're gonna wear it out. We're gonna wear that out.
I mean, they're
Yeah, there's
when
a
they
lot
go
of receivers in the NFL that could not play for Ohio State.
Right.
I mean, the Browns' wide receiving core after Jerry Jeudy falls off a cliff.
Judy be splitting time.
9 line. Like
Come on,
He be
get
a
out
little
of
third
here.
down. Like,
We're being a little sarcastic.
we've been a little. It was fun, but it's still funny. That you couldn't start for Ohio State is a funny stat.
Yeah,
like,
Could Jamari Thrash even make the roster?
He not getting no NIL money. He's straight Scotty. Yeah. This straight meal plan. He not.
Oh my God! Now he's a starter. I think.
Yeah, he get room and board though.
Yeah, he get books, tuition,
Little meal money?
Yeah, the little meal money down at the little Buckeye cash.
Yeah,
Swipe
get
it
the
down the street at the Chipotle.
what's it called when you get the money when you go on the road trip? I forgot.
Oh, per diem.
Per diem.
Oh yeah, he get a little per diem.
I used to get per diem when I would travel with the teams to do the games.
Still get per diem.
I like a little per diem.
So y'all per diem good?
ESPN per diem, $61 a day.
Okay. See, man, I would be.
Could be more than that. I would
It
think.
should be
Like,
more.
Dustin spent
prices are expensive right now. Food's
Dustin-
expensive.
what it
Let's
is.
go.
Dustin, so he be like, yo, he addicted to kicks. He be like, that 61 is 1/3 of the way up. That's going right to StockX.
That might give me like a third of a pair of like sevens.
Right, like, yeah, mama, listen, 3 weeks,
Yeah.
I'm going to have at least 240, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but nah, listen, Dustin puts it right, McNuggets. He's just Cleveland Browns got a lot of regular guys.
There's just a
That's
guy.
a little regular guy.
Browns signed another offensive. I feel like they signed an offensive lineman every day. I think they've signed 10 offensive linemen in the last 10 days. They just rotate through all these guys. All right, Mike. I know we got a bunch of FanDuel winners that we want to share, right?
We do. So we appreciate everyone who sent us in winning FanDuel tickets. And did you put the names on these?
Look in the rundown.
In the rundown. Hold on. I want to make sure I
boy.
give credit to the people who.
Struggling right now.
Okay.
Ruggling.
We got them. These are winning FanDuel tickets that have been sent in. And this first one is the biggest winning ticket in the history of UCSS. Our guy, FD Lover, sent us in this ticket. He bet $50 on a 23-leg same-game parlay in the Packers-Cowboys Sunday Night Football matchup. He turned $50 into $7,222.96. When he tweeted at us, he said, my wife told me to stop making 20-part same-game parlays until she sees winning tickets like this.
Yeah.
So shout out to FD Lover, the biggest winning ticket we have ever had submitted in UCSS history. $50 turned into $7,222.96.
I wonder what the last one that he got was that he clinched.
Hey, man, when I was heavy into my FanDuel days, which was like last year, man, it's so much joy you get out of the 20 parts. It's 20 part or better.
They're like impossible to hit, but when you do hit them,
20 part or better.
It's special.
We don't respect you if your parlays is under 10. That's nasty work. You step your game up, man. I need 20 plus, man. You know
It's also like not that impressive when you win a 23 team parlay when you're taking like all like minus 500.
Yeah.
You know? And by the way, those will kill you at some point because all you need is one guy like to just not perform.
Yep.
Darius Garland used to get me every time. I need you to get 6 assists. He get 5.5.
Because like if those 23 picks were all about like minus 110. He would have won like 700,000.
Yeah, that was. Go see. Dustin is trying to show you.
You're saying he picked all huge?
A lot of those were huge favorites.
Otherwise, we would have paid more money.
It's still impressive to win. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying if you cut that down to like 12 teams and just have them all like at normal odds,
right?
That would have paid.
Or
out.
even a couple of long shots, maybe not long shots, but a couple of like 50, slight pluses.
50. So $50. So a 10-team parlay pays 700 to 1. So if you do the math, I mean, you'd have won 35,000.
You're saying even though this guy's the biggest win ever, it was a chintzy bet. That's what you're saying.
What he's saying
it's a dumb bet.
What he's saying is he's showing you levels. There's difference between.
He won $7,000, so let's just celebrate the.
I think it's an awesome win. It's hard to do those things.
All right, our next ticket comes from Daniel Caruso. This is a smaller bet, but a
Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid.
Daniel Caruso. He sent us two. This was a same-game parlay on Monday Night Football. He bet $10, won $168.60. Right. He also sent us in another winning ticket. This one won $246.65.
260, yeah.
Yeah, 264. What did I say?
246.
Oh, 264.65. So two big winners from Daniel Caruso.
Okay,
I like that. We got another ticket sent in from Kyle. Kyle bet $10.
Nice.
Won $1,061.29. He used FanDuel's 50% profit boost on this parlay. So capitalizing on FanDuel, giving you a chance to win some extra money. So shout out to Kyle for that. We got two more.
A lot of winners on that Cowboys Packers game.
Well, there's a million points scored in that game.
It's because most parlays, the same game parlays, people take over totals and like passing yards and touchdowns, and that was an 80-point total.
You rarely
game.
Bet unders.
Yeah, so literally everything.
So everything went over in this game.
Yeah, the house in Vegas or wherever got cooked on this one.
Oh yeah.
They'll get it all back tomorrow.
Next, which one?
Yeah, this was our guy Drew Orlowski, who bet $10, won $1,016.76.
Right. He's so much our guy, we can't pronounce his name, but all right.
He sent it via email. And then Scott Prisbiz sent us in an $8 bet on that same Packers-Cowboys game. When it's 40-40, there's a lot of overs that hit. And we could see everyone cashing out via FanDuel.
All right, everyone won a lot of money. I like it. Good for these guys.
So in total, I did the mental math, but our UCSS viewers won over $10,000 on FanDuel.
Wow.
This weekend alone.
Good.
At least that's been sent in. So
we got to ask about this fact. If you are a person who is on FanDuel, you one of them dudes, and your significant other is against it, they're like, man, you be doing too much. Stop spending all this money. And they be hating. But when you hit, is that significant other entitled to half of that bread that you won?
Depends. Is there a ring on the finger?
Yes.
Then yeah.
Yeah, you know the answer.
At least half.
Okay. That's who's like, hey, yeah, dog, yeah. Does it? So okay, girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
The girlfriend, fiance. Do they get any of that?
They get a quarter.
You dumbing them down? You dumbing them down a little bit?
Might get some new Louis or something.
Like do new bag.
I got a nice little $1,210 payment today for finishing second in my fantasy baseball league.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to have back-to-back championships.
Okay, and that would have paid.
I fell just short.
The payout for that?
For first place,
yeah.
It was like $2,300.
Woo, man!
That's what I hit last year.
Does Aaron
hold some?
Does Aaron get some of that bag?
He doesn't. Listen, I pay for everything for him. So.
Why you? Listen. He listen. Hey, I listen. He's in my pockets all the time. Yeah. Does he get allowance? Do y'all give allowances?
Yeah.
Like allowances,
I give him,
is it just when they ask for it?
I don't. I probably should.
I opened the bank account for him, and I give him $12 a week.
Okay, a little
How'd
something.
you come up with that number?
His age. When he turns 13, he'll get $13 a week.
Okay.
And there you go. He's got to pay for like some of his video game stuff, or like sometimes after school he'll go with his friends to like the store, like to get ice cream or something.
No,
he's got to pay for that stuff.
Like
it's good
that.
to have some responsibility.
All right, we got super chats to wrap up today's show. First one comes from Miss Bell 70, who says, "Bold Darryl Ryder from 92.3 made the Shador comments regarding the quarterback competition from yesterday." Boz Crow says, "Vote is good for steering the ship in a long season, but awful in-game, one-game manager."
What's the in-game beef that you have with him yesterday?
G. Bush says, M. Vine says, "G. Bush nailed it. Give DG a nap on the plane, a Lunchable, a juice box, and go get your money off. Stefanski's watching UCSS and listening to G. Bush."
If he's listening to me, he is going to never be smart as he's supposed to be.
Miss Bell 70 says, Flacco only needs to do when to retire seminar. Flacco only needs to do when to retire seminars.
Okay.
Yep.
Salvatore the 216 says, I still believe in Shador and I'm a fan of his, but anyone unhappy if Dillon plays, they are not true Cleveland fans.
That's true.
Yeah,
James Mace Jr. says, Bull, there is no unknown. We all know how this story ends. We are just watching the path to see how they get there.
What's that? Do we know what that's a reference to?
We cryptic today, and our messages is our super chat.
Well,
cryptic.
in fairness, the people send the chats as we're talking
in real time,
and we don't know when they. I don't know what I'm just trying to figure out. Could that be when I said like there's no book on Chase the Lauder, maybe, or?
Yeah, maybe there's books, right?
I don't know. All right, Mike. Next.
Miss Bell 70 says Dillon was expected to go first. Don't pass Shador when the time is right. The Hot Saucer says the overreaction from everyone on Shador not starting / getting traded / whatever is insane to me. Let him develop.
Where's the overreaction? Is anybody overreacting today? Earlier, people were. I don't know. People overreacting to this news today? We didn't.
I don't think so.
I don't know if fans are. I'm not.
I thought we were very measured.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody here was not.
Boz Crow says vote brainless, righty lefty decisions, regardless of experience or talent. He's an awful in-game manager.
Okay.
They already going to Stephen Vogt after that one game.
Miss Bell 70 says never a 5th round talent and not ready. How if he's developed in your coach of the year fair 4 quarterback comp? If he's not developed by now, he should have been cut. They need a new narrative. Not ready is old.
Miss Bell, she must be loaded. She sends like 3 or 4 super chats every day.
Love Miss Bell.
Miss Bell, man.
Miss Bell got the bag and an opinion too.
Yeah.
Pranav Karode says, considering how bad the O-line is, Sanders should play as he has experience playing with bad offensive lines. I expect 12 to play after the bye week.
How many weeks is that?
There's 3 games before the bye.
Yeah, 3 games. M. Bine says, can or will offensive lines ever rotate like defensive lines?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could in theory, but they don't.
Tough with consistency.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
But it's a big advantage for D line.
It's a lot less good, athletic, strong, fast.
Yeah. Well, Ross talked about that. There's much more depth at the defensive line than there is at the offensive line.
Next one. This is a great question from the Hot Saucers. I'm not saying the Browns should do this, but I'm curious with all the talk about defensive lines being too good for the offensive lines. Do you think Myles Garrett could play left tackle and have success? It's just in a vacuum in theory.
Sure, why not?
I think
Myles Garrett can do anything.
He could probably play any position on the field and have success. I don't think it would be like
it wouldn't be as good.
He's not going to the Hall of Fame as a left tackle,
right? No.
Yeah, he could because he could put on 30 pounds and still be
right.
I just
really
would like
athletic.
to see. I don't know why they don't do this. I would love to see them involve some sort of a goal line package for him, where he comes into the game, and I don't even care if he has to get targets, but like if he comes in on offense, everyone on defense is going to be staring at him.
Like, what is happening here?
I mean,
we got 3 more that I got to show you a clip. So
that would be awesome if they did that.
Ski Slope Logan says, at least the Guardians have a chance. My Reds never had hope against the Dodgers.
No.
The Hot Saucer says, seems like Aroldis Chapman loaded the bases on purpose just to troll the Yankees. And Dragon the Abandoner said, Dylan Judkins Bond, a.k.a. the Munchkins to the moon. All right, guys, so there was open locker room today before the team traveled to London. And once again, people went over to ask Shador questions.
Oh, God.
Spencer German just tweeted out this clip that I need your guys' take on. We're going to take it full, Steve. Sound is on, so listen.
Quarterback. Vocally, anything to say?
I guess one more. I guess what do you think you have to show? Show to the coaches just to have them have that belief in you that you can be ready.
You don't say anything he's saying.
He's pantomiming. He's not actually saying words.
How much has Joe been important to both you and Dillon in terms of your guys' development to this point?
What is he doing?
He's like a 12-year-old.
Boy, go ahead, G. Bush. What do you make of this?
Weird.
So my
Go ahead, buddy.
immediate reaction is, so basically they probably told him
Yeah.
Hey, when they ask you questions, don't say nothing. Right? If they ask you questions about quarterback stuff, just keep it solid, whatever the case may be. So he was like, in his mind, he's like, all right, this means I'm not saying nothing. So here's what I'm going to do.
Full immature.
He went full like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything, so I'm going to just not, I'm going to minimize.
That was awkward.
Honestly, I thought
his mic was off.
thought the audio video was out of sync. And that's why I wasn't seeing his. And I'm like, what? What is happening? That is weird.
That was weird.
It was
Didn't
weird.
like that.
I think G's right. They told him don't say anything, and people came over, still asked him questions. So instead of saying I'm not going to talk, he did that. But that's odd.
Yeah, like I think
I've never seen that in a locker room setting before.
And he probably told him before, like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk, or I can't talk, or they probably told him. Because seriously, I don't think they have to let. Like, can a team say we're only talking to the first string? I think the first string quarterback.
They can do whatever they want to some degree.
Like, can't the team say you're not?
Why didn't he just say he didn't want to do an interview?
Or if in that case, could have been like, hey, we're not gonna make Shedeur available. He's not available for comment.
That whole thing was silly.
That was weird. I don't know what he's doing there. That's an odd choice.
And we've seen people say, "Hey, I'm not talking today."
Yeah.
Like we've seen people decline. That was just
And people would have been mad at him for that. I wouldn't have cared really that much.
I'd rather him do that than what he did.
That was pretty embarrassing, I thought, but whatever. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Go
Guards.
Guards game in 8 minutes. Get to a TV and support your Cleveland Guardians. See you tomorrow.
Peace.